Alright, folks, welcome to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real, bringing you a Tuesday edition of the show. Now, last week we spent a lot of time on site, on location, down at the Ruidoso Downs Racetrack and Billy the Kid Casino. We had a really good time hanging out there and checking out all the stuff throughout the week going there. So, we just want to kind of give the props to the winner of the race. Unfortunately, it wasn't our guy, Cody Jensen. It was the horse's name was called Handsome Jack Flash. It wasn't able to get the name of the jockey, but again, it wasn't our guy, so we're kind of disappointed. But he did say something to me off air, and it was something to the effect of, it's not just winning or losing, it's getting on and enjoying the ride. I guess something like, don't take it for granted. You have an opportunity. Just be sure you're having fun, I guess is what he really was trying to say. But anyway, Cody Jensen, there's always next year. We're going to be rooting for you again. I'm sure you'll be right in there in the mix of things for the 2014 All-American Fraternity. But as we just mentioned, the 2013 just happened, and Handsome Jack Flash was the winner of that. So good luck, or congratulations to them and their team. And the Ruidoso Downs Racetrack, again, really good place. Over 25,000 people were estimated to be there. It's amazing. That's like twice the town of Ruidoso. So, a lot of people. Just an amazing event. So, moving on from there, we're going to touch base. It's some sad news in sports. In boxing news, Tommy Morrison, he was the boxer that played in Rocky 6, I believe. No, Rocky 5. Yeah, Rocky 5, I believe, is when Rocky Balboa takes in the kid off the streets and trains him, and then the guy thinks he's too good and dumps Rocky and his family to go with the big promoter. Well, that actor, Tommy Gunn in the movie, his real name is Tommy Morrison. He just recently passed away at the age of 54, I believe. And now there's all kinds of rumors. Some say it was just illness. Some rumors are speculating that it was cause of complications from the HIV virus, which, for any of you who do not know, he did come out and acknowledge that he was HIV positive. Then some reports, real weird, that, months later he took another test and it was negative. But then his mom came out recently and said he did have HIV. His wife said no. And so anyway, we're not going to speculate. The man is dead. We're going to, just give him props for a wonderful career. He fought some of the best fighters, including George Foreman, when he was just winning championships later on in his career, but still fought him and did very well. And then, of course, for any of you Rocky fans, I enjoyed Rocky 5. I thought he did a really good job in that movie for being a boxer to transfer into acting. I was really impressed with him on that. So Tommy Morrison, again, died recently at the age of 54. Prayers go out to him and his family, for sure. So it's a sad moment for them. Now, in better news, of course, in combat sports, UFC just went down 164, and I have to say, man, Anthony Pettis, this guy is unstoppable. I thought for sure he was just scheduled a month or so ago to fight the Phantomweight champion, and gets hurt, comes back a month or two later and fights the lightweight champion in Ben Henderson and submits the guy. It's just amazing. Can anybody stop this guy? So now that this is an interesting question to pose to him, now that he's already got a belt, will Dana White allow him to drop weight and go fight the bantamweight? I can't think of his name. Jose Aldo. I'm sorry. So, with that said, we don't know if he's going to be able to do that. I seriously doubt it. So, we'll just have to wait and see on that. But he is now the new lightweight champion of the UFC. So, good job, Anthony Pettis. The guy's badass. He's bad to the bone. Now moving on to NFL news, the NFL did settle with the lawsuit for, I believe, over $700 million and some change. Now this is a lot of money for ex-players to get help. The problem is not all the players are going to be okay with this settlement. Some are going to want more money than others, and some might even deserve more money than others. This is the problem with this. Any football player that goes into the NFL knows that there are possibilities of injury, possibility of coming out with some long-term effects. This is what bothers me, and I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be unsympathetic here, but just like I said a few shows back, how can these guys expect to be given everything through their whole careers, and then afterwards, I mean, we have to realize this, folks, the NFL is changing because of this lawsuit. All these new rules and all these, hey, we got to protect the players and all that stuff, that's all because of this lawsuit. If this lawsuit wouldn't have happened, NFL would be the same as it was 20 or so years ago, but they're having to act, and this is what I'm trying to get at. They're trying to act as if they really care about these players, because if they did, they wouldn't be fighting and pushing for an 18-game season if it was all about the players' health and to keep them from getting injured. So anyway, to get back, they did settle, but a lot of players are not going to take the settlement, and it's sad because they get a chance to get help. They get a chance. What the NFL should do for any player that's lasted over 5 years, they should get guaranteed health insurance. The NFL can afford it. It's not going to break the bank, and some of these players that do get seriously injured do need some help. Now, this is the part that bugs me. Some of the players that are saying that they're not going to settle with this, that's insane, because they're lucky they're getting anything. Some people will go on the line and say, hey, they signed up for it, they knew. Not only did they know, but some players have been injured during the season and lie about their injury to get back on the field. So it's kind of like their own doing, I guess you could say, their own justification of getting paid this amount of money, being in the limelight, being a professional athlete, so on and so on. So I'm not going to go that far. I think everyone should get help if they've played enough years. Just like in the military, if you make it so long, you get benefits that go beyond your normal person that's in there for a couple, 3 years or 4 years, whatever the minimum is. They get benefits the longer they stay in. The longer the term, the more they get from the backside. I think the NFL should figure something out similar to that and figure out how to make it work. The problem is these players that aren't willing to settle, this is going to drag on and on and on. And I honestly, as a NFL fan, I'm getting kind of tired of hearing the players complain and gripe about it. They should just be happy and understand that they're getting some compensation for playing a dangerous sport and live with that. Okay, so moving on from there, Matt Flynn gets... Man, this guy, you got to feel sorry for him. This is the third time. 3 times he's gone to a new team to be the projected starter and then gets benched for somebody that's already been there. So, I don't know if it's not him producing or if it's not him being good enough quarterback, or is it just a bad situation? He gets there in a bad time. Terrell Pryor is a mobile quarterback. Matt Flynn is very slow. With a bad offensive line, Pryor will be able to extend plays, kind of like Big Ben. So I guess that's why they're going with Terrell Pryor in this situation. Matt Flynn, I don't know if the guy's a good quarterback or not, but hopefully he'll get a shot somewhere because he had to have been a decent quarterback because people have paid this guy big money to go there. Time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. And then finally, I'm going to just wrap up the show real quick before we get to the Magic Minute, sports talk-wise, with Tim Tebow. Yes, he was cut from the Pats last Friday, I believe. And I have to say, this guy, I love Tim Tebow to death. I'm a big fan, but he just couldn't get the job done. He was throwing horrible passes, misreading, couldn't get the ball in the zone in the right area. Now, I don't know if that's because they're just expecting him to come off the bench cold and perform, because a lot of quarterbacks, they get to do it day in and day out, and he doesn't. He kind of is just that hit-and-miss kind of guy. But the thing I love about Tim Tebow is people don't want to let him go. He's already came out on Twitter and sent a message to the Pats, and he didn't chew them out. He wasn't ugly about it. He basically thanked them for the opportunity and the chance to play. That's Tim Tebow all the way. He's a great guy. I hope he gets an opportunity. And then rumors today come out and say that Bill Belichick has left the door open for him to possibly get brought back to the team. And I would say, Tim Tebow, that would be crazy. Get away from the Patriots. Get away from a lot of these NFL teams. And you know what? Maybe try your luck in the CFL. I know it's not the NFL, and I know it's taking a step back. But sometimes if you take a step back, you can take 3 or 4 steps forward after that. And I'm thinking that this is the case because he needs to work on his quarterback skills tremendously. He cannot read. He cannot deliver the ball correctly. And maybe with some CFL years, a couple years, he's still a young guy, a couple good years in the CFL, maybe he can fine-tune some skills that will help him in the NFL. That's our recommendation and our suggestion to Tim Tebow because we love the guy. And then finally, we're going to go to the Magic Minute real quick as a wrap-up. And we have to say props to Chris Gonzalez, who won the Type 2 tournament that was held here at the Players Zone on Friday. And he's just stumped everybody. He made a great deck. Good job for him. Kudos. This is actually his top 3 placing in the last month. And real happy for him. He's a good player, good deck builder. And then, you know what? Yours truly had to jump in. I had to see what this game was all about. I promoted, I mentioned it, but I had to check it out for myself. And it was actually really fun. So for any of you that are interested, get with the Player Zone. That is the big sponsor of Average Joe Sports Talk Show. And they have comic books, sports cards, memorabilia. I mean, you name it, they got it. They got your Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. They just got everything. So be sure to hit them up. They have their own Facebook page at the Player Zone's Facebook page, or you can hit them up on RiodosoMidtown.com. Click on the Merchant tab, go to Entertainment, and boom, Player Zone will be right there. And then we cannot leave the show without thanking also Right On Time Errand and Delivery Service. Those are our 2 big sponsors. Can't thank them enough for hooking us up with a place to do the show again. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, last thing for the Magic Minute. Coming up 2 weeks away, well, actually, it's the 23rd of September, is the pre-release for Thalio. So all you gamers, you better get ready for it. And this week coming up for Friday Magic will be a Type 2 two-headed giant. Type 2 two-headed giant going down at the Player Zone this weekend. So don't miss out on the fun. But for right now, Jay Real is going to sign out. Peace and much love. We'll see you on Friday's show. Have a great week, folks. Jay Real. Jay Real.